Hello everyone, so I lost over 18 kilos going from 100 to 82 and it was one of the best things I could have done. I feel better, I look better, and I'm just fitter in general. But today I want to talk about things which I struggled with during this journey. Now when you go on a fitness journey, it would be naive to say that it would just be smooth sailing. It's very, very, very rare that someone has a complete smooth path with no obstacles or no struggles, but I really, really struggled with certain elements of my fitness journey. Reason why I'm making this video is I want people to understand that it is okay to have setbacks. It's okay if your journey isn't as smooth as you want it to be. You're going to have times where you're going to struggle, and it's fine. I am one example of that. Now, firstly, I'm autistic. Noise, confined spaces, so many things happening at once. I'm going to struggle, and the gym is just the home of that. It is absolutely crazy. You could say, why don't you just do home workouts? Why don't you just do something that you enjoy, that you're away from people? At some point, you have to go to a gym if you cannot afford a home gym or you don't have the space to do it. You have to get to a stage where a gym is probably the best option so you can actually progress. What I wouldn't struggle with is actually the exercises and the equipment. That's not the thing I'd struggle with. Despite the fact that I look like that, I'd been going on and off for 4 years, so I knew what exercises did what. I knew decent form. That wasn't the problem. It was the actual gym itself. There have been times where I've had panic attacks, where I've had to leave early because I got too stressed. That is something which is actually no one's fault. Unfortunately, that is how a gym environment normally is. You're going to have people there. You're going to have, no space. Unfortunately, that is the case with many gyms. By the way, this is not a video to say that autistic people shouldn't go to the gym or every autistic person is going to struggle in the gym. This is just my experience, but loud noises, lots of people, that is something I struggled to adapt with when I first joined a gym. And even in independent gyms, which is I normally go to, I did struggle, but that is how it was. There are two main things that I do to calm me down. First of all is bring this, a stim toy. It was 50p, someone bought it for me for a project at uni, and it has just been a symbol of just calmness for me. It's really, really good despite the price. I just play with it when I get stressed and it just calms me down. It's so stimulating and it's awesome. Okay, admittedly, I can understand that noise being quite annoying for some people, but it's just really like relaxing to me. I don't know why it is, I just love it. And another, and this is going to sound absolutely mental, I will bring flags to the gym. Look, my special interest is flags of the world. Why not bring my special interest to the gym? And despite the fact what I thought would be the opposite of what happened, I was welcomed with it. People loved it and they wanted to see more. But to be honest, I only really cared about the owner's opinion. I didn't really care if anyone else in the gym cared about it. I know that sounds quite selfish, but if I was going to bring something like that in, I'd really only care about the owner's opinion because ultimately it's how they want the gym to go. And if they didn't want me bringing in a flag, then that's fine. But it just calmed me. It was just a great way to calm me down. I have my special interest with me. Also, just nice to show off. So that is my first tip, I would say. If you don't feel comfortable in the gym, but you have no other option but a gym, bring something in. Talk to the owner and see if you can bring in something in the gym. That will calm you down. Now, there's the other factor when it comes to how your physique looks, and that's how much you eat. It was a nightmare when I first started, and I've never really had a good relationship with food. I had a tendency to binge eat a lot. In fact, I developed an eating disorder, and it was awful to deal with. I was in an awful mental state whilst going through that. My worst habit, even before I was going to the gym, was I'd either eat far too little, so then I would binge eat, or I'd just eat too much to the point where I just feel sluggish, and I would just continue to eat because I'd feel like crap. Trying to find that balance where I don't eat as much so I can drop body fat, but not eating too little to the point where I'm starving and I feel like crap, and then I'll binge eat. It was a real nightmare, and it took me a long time to adjust, and I probably could have made more progress quicker if I was able to adapt to that quicker, but it took me a lot of time. Weirdly though, the two things I've never struggled with when it comes to my diet is getting enough fibre and getting enough protein. Those are the two things which I've never struggled with, which is probably explains why I go to the toilet often, but I don't know why I never struggled with. I just always focused on getting enough fibre and getting enough protein, because Fibre is just important. You need fibre, you need to poop, it's healthy, and of course, protein is the essential macronutrient to build muscle. The only reason I could think of why it was easy for me to adapt to having high fibre and high protein was you'd always see those recipes on TikTok or YouTube where it's a high protein, low calorie meal, but fibre wasn't really there, so I made sure to get my protein in, but I made sure to get that fibre in. I needed to get it in, and you need to get it in. But the thing I struggled with the most was nothing to do with fitness or nothing to do with my eating habits. It was general mental health struggles, and an eating disorder definitely didn't help that. I was dealing with a lot of demons. I was dealing with a lot, and breakdowns and crying were the norm at one point. Way before I ever wanted to drop body fat and get in good shape, I wanted to deal with my eating habits. I wanted to make sure I had a healthy relationship with food again. Even if that meant I put some more weight on, I wanted a healthy relationship with food over everything. Opening up to my friends and family about it was the biggest anxiety experience of my life because I thought they'd think I was weak, I was a loser, that I didn't deserve anyone. That was a nightmare to deal with, but all I got was support. Once I got that out of the open, I admitted I had a problem. Doing the other things like the fitness and the diet change, it was easier. Not to say it was a smooth road, of course, but it was a lot easier. And me dropping this body fat, it's like I'm revealing the person I actually am. And the love I got for the progress that I'd made from all my friends and family, it just motivated me to keep going. They'd love me regardless. It didn't matter what I looked like or what I did as a job or whatever. They'd love and support me. And that should be the same for you and your friends and family. Should never judge someone based on their weight, but they knew I was doing it for the better, and they knew I was going to be a better human being and look better and just feel better me doing it. But was it tough? Yes, it was. Dealing with panic attacks on a regular basis, an anxiety-inducing space with the gym, eating habits that were really poor and developing an eating disorder. It was not a smooth road, but you have to understand that things are not going to be smooth all the time. If your journey is not smooth 24/7, that is okay, I promise. No one's going to think you're worthless. You're not a failure. I promise you'll be fine. Even if nobody is supporting you in your journey, I've got your back, don't worry. But thank you all for watching. Definitely subscribe if you're new around here. And best of luck, you've got this.